Most people think building wealth in your 20s is about investing in stocks or crypto, but it's not. In fact, you skip one of these financial milestones. You can work your entire life and still end up broke. And you know what's the crazy part? Almost nobody talks about the first one, but it quietly decides your financial future. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 financial milestones every person should hit before turning 30. These are the exact habits that quietly separate people who build wealth early from those who spend decades trying to catch up, and the key is that they have to happen in the right order. Miss one of them and everything after it becomes much harder. So let's start with the first milestone, and it's the one almost nobody talks about. Before investing a single dollar, you need to fix this first, because one thing quietly destroys more financial futures in your 20s than almost anything else: debt. Most people want to jump straight in investing, stocks, crypto, side hustle. But if you're carrying high interest debt, you are basically trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom. Two of the biggest culprits are student loans and credit card debt. In the United States, the average student loan debt is around $39,000, and credit cards often charge interest rates close to 80%. That means every month a portion of your income isn't building your future, it's paying for your past. And the longer the debt stays around, the more it slows down everything else you want to do financially. Becoming debt-free gives you something incredibly valuable in your 20s: freedom. But here is the important part: getting out of debt alone won't make you wealthy, because the next milestone is what actually creates your income engine. In your 20s, your biggest investment isn't the stock market, it's your ability to earn money. At this stage of life, the most valuable thing you can do is building skills, gain experience, and figure out what kind of work you are good at. That often means trying different jobs, learning new things, and understanding how the real world of work actually functions. Think of it like this: if you needed a plumber to fix your pipes, would you hire someone who started yesterday or someone who has seen thousands of clogged pipes over the past 20 years? Most people would choose the second one. Why? Because experience increases value. The same thing applies to your career. The longer you stay in an industry and you improve your skills, the more valuable you become and the more you can earn. But earning more money alone doesn't guarantee wealth, because the real danger appears after people start making money. And this is where many people quietly destroy their financial future, not because they don't earn money, but because they don't control how they spend it. The real trap in your 20s often comes down to 3 things: delayed gratification, avoiding credit card debt, and building a strong credit score. Credit cards themselves aren't the enemy. In fact, when used correctly, they can help you build credit and unlock better financial opportunities later in life. But the danger comes when spending becomes easy and repayment becomes difficult. Many credit cards charge interest rates around 80% or even higher. That means if you carry a balance, your purchase can quickly become far more expensive than you expected. At the same time, building a strong credit score is extremely important. A higher credit score can mean lower interest rates when financing a car or buying a home, saving you tens of thousands of dollars over time. And once you learn to control your spending, the next milestone is what truly separates people who stay broke from those who begin building wealth. Saving money without a clear goal almost never works. When people say, "I should probably save more," it usually lasts a few weeks, and then life happens, expenses appear, and the plan disappears. That's because saving becomes much easier when there is a specific reason behind it. Instead of saving randomly, it helps to attach your saving to something meaningful. For some people, that might be a down payment on a house. For others, it could be starting a business, paying for a wedding, traveling the world, or simply buying a freedom and flexibility in life. A clear goal changes how you look at money. Suddenly, every dollar you save is not just money sitting in a bank account, it's progress towards something bigger. One of the most powerful habits you can build in your 20s is living below your means. That means even as your income increases, your lifestyle doesn't increase at the same speed. The gap between what you earn and what you spend becomes your ability to save and invest for the future. Over time, that gap becomes extremely powerful, but saving money randomly still isn't enough to build the real financial stability. Because the next milestone is what gives your money structure and direction. Most people think budgeting is restrictive, but in reality, a good budget actually gives you freedom. Without a plan, money tends to disappear quickly, small purchases add up, and by the end of the month, many people wonder where their income actually went. A simple budget solves that problem by giving every dollar a clear purpose. One of the most common frameworks is the 50-30-20% rule. About 50% of your income goes toward needs, things like rent, utilities, insurance, and transportations. Around 30% goes toward wants, dining out, entertainment, travel, or hobbies. And the final 20% goes towards saving and investments, helping you build your future. This structure keeps your spending balanced while still allowing you to enjoy your money. Instead of feeling restricted, you gain clarity and control over your finances. And once your money has structure, you can finally start focusing on the thing that actually builds long-term wealth. This is where time becomes your greatest advantage. When you start investing in your 20s, you are not just investing money, you are investing time, and time is what makes wealth grow. The earlier you begin, the more powerful compounding becomes. In the United States, two common ways to start investing are through Roth IRA and a 401k. A Roth IRA allows your investments to grow tax-free over time, while a 401k is usually offered through your employer. One of the biggest benefits of 401k is something called employer match. In many cases, if you contribute a percentage of your paycheck, your employer will match part of that contribution. That's essentially free money being added to your retirement savings. The real magic, however, comes from compounding when your money begins earning returns, and those returns start generating returns of their own. Over a long period of time, even small monthly investments can grow into significant amounts of simply because they had more time to compound. But there is a mistake many people make after they start investing, and that mistake is touching their investments too often. The stock market rewards patience more than intelligence. Many people think successful investing means predicting the market, buying the perfect stock, or constantly reacting to every headline. But in reality, the biggest advantage most investors have is simply staying invested for the long term. Markets naturally go up and down in the short term. Some days are great, others are painful. The problem is that when people see the market drop, they panic and sell their investments, looking in losses and missing the recovery that usually follows. Historically, some of the best days in the stock market happen very close to the worst days. If you miss just a handful of those strong recovery days, your long-term returns can drop dramatically. That's why successful investors focus less on timing the market and more on time in the market. And this leads to the final lesson that quietly destroys many people's wealth: lifestyle inflation. This is when your income increases, but your spending increases just as fast, sometimes even faster. New car, bigger apartment, more expensive habits. On the surface, it looks like progress, but financially, nothing actually changes. And the dangerous part is that even people making six figures fall into this trap without realizing it, which means if you don't control lifestyle inflation, everything we talked about in this video, paying off debt, saving, investing, becomes much less powerful. I actually made a full video breaking down how people making a lot of money still end up broke and how to avoid it. So if you want to understand that mistake before it happens to you, click the video on your screen right now. Thank you for watching.